We wanted to tell the story about why this party of government has really been in structural decline over two elections in a pretty acute way. They've lost more than 30 seats, largely from the cities where most Australians live. And so how do they assess why they've gone backwards like this? I've been able to establish there are two broad camps. That's not to say there's no nuance or people in the middle, but two broad camps in the Liberal Party and almost evenly split in some ways in their numbers. So the moderates are arguing, and there are people say there aren't many left. Well, there are enough left. And their argument is that their issue is broader than just an election campaign and that they need to do a lot of work when it comes to women, multicultural communities, the policy they offer, the root and branch reform about the way that they recruit party members, like deep work, and that they have moved too far to the right and that they have been too obsessed with so-called culture war issues and not on the main game where Australians are in the middle. Then there is another camp that believes they do need to do some deep works, and this is the Conservatives. But their argument is that fundamentally the problem is that the campaign was a shambles, that the campaign itself was a debacle, that they didn't actually talk enough about the other issues which they say are sort of emblematic and cultural issues of Liberal Party values, and that they don't describe them as culture wars, but that they see them as deeper issues that send signals about the kind of party they are that do connect with Middle Australia. Now, if you hear those two perspectives, they don't sound to me like the same perspective at all. They are really different. And so the Liberal Party is having an internal discussion, way outside of the Nationals even being part of that discussion, about its future direction, the kind of changes they need, how deep the problem is, whether it's just a more superficial issue of the way they campaign and fixing that up, or whether it's more deep-rooted.
So you established these two groups and these two different ideas. Were you surprised by anything else when you were putting this program together?
I think there are so many surprising things, and that's why people must watch, just unexpected insights. And that's what this is. This is a piece of analysis from different players about, and stories about what they think went wrong. And these are the people who are designing what the Liberal Party offers. And so their voices do matter because they're in charge of the next design, if you like. But there was insights in relation to the voice referendum, which I think are fascinating and unexpected. So what we have established is that the Liberal Party's pollster weighted the no vote in the way that they made an assessment about how people might vote in the election. So if you voted no, you're more likely possibly to vote for the coalition, which clearly demonstrably didn't happen. So there's a critique about that, but a broader critique about what happened after the no vote. There are many people, and left and right in the party, not left, I should say moderate and right, who believe the voice referendum gave them a false sense of confidence about what the Australian electorate believed on certain issues, that it made them think that they understood the electorate in a way that they clearly didn't, because this one referendum didn't lead to a general election win. In fact, they've gone backwards. They didn't even hold their own seats, let alone win Labor seats. And I think that analysis is really cutting, and I was surprised to see how well held that is across the party, that it's not just in the moderate wing, that's held across the party.